both of you hear me?
Yeah.
T? T, can you hear me? T, hello?
Yeah, of course I can hear you.
Okay.
What? What?
I mean, it's no surprise that we have a monster in our closet right now.
The hell are you talking about?
Dad's still looming over our heads. And I don't think that killing him's gonna solve all of our problems. But it'll solve most of them.
I agree.
And Oliver, I know I've been
I see you.
very difficult. I see you too. But she's looking over her shoulder, that's how I said it like that. But you gotta know that even when even while I may not fill you in on all of my deepest, darkest secrets, you're still one of the people that knows the most. And I do tell you a lot, and you know that. And I'm really trying to push through a fuck ton of trauma to be able to look at you the way I want to. And it's not your fault, it's Dad's. And I'm learning that, but it's gonna take a really long time for it to finally sink into my brain. Because for a while it was just me and T. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad, I'm saying that, like, all I had to worry about was T. And then 2 months ago, I had to worry about 2 other people. And so on and so forth. And I'm drowning in panic and worry over the fact that Dad is not gone forever, like we thought. And I'm trying to deal with the trauma of him in my brain alone. And the shit that I've been facing alone. And I know that I don't have to, and I know that I have you guys to rely on. But god damn it, I think better sometimes when I'm alone. Which is why I go for walks to clear my head and make sure that he doesn't get in. Which is why I did that yesterday. It wasn't because I didn't want to tell you I was gonna. It was because I needed a minute to process. because I could hear him whispering in my head, and then he started screaming. And I beat the shit out of a bunch of stuff, and I didn't want you to get stuck in the crossfire. What I'm going through is beyond explanation. I don't even know how to explain it to anybody. Nobody really gets it. You guys somewhat do. But I have a funny way of handling it because I was the oldest. I was the one that stood in front of closets while Dad beat the shit out of me, protecting my brothers. I was the one that took the brute of his belt, the fists, the bottles being thrown across the room. I'm used to doing it alone. And suddenly I have 2 other brothers 2 months ago. But I have 23 years of prior of being alone. It's not something that I can change in a day. It's not something that I can change in an hour, a minute. It's not something that I can change in maybe even a month. It's gonna take a very long time for me to rewire my entire belief in being and brain to believe that I'm not alone. And I don't mean to be rude to your girlfriend, but yelling at me is the opposite effect of what should have happened yesterday. When I get snapped at, I shut down. I cower. I hide. It's a natural instinct because I grew up with it. Yelling at me gets nowhere. I'm not saying coddle me like a fucking baby, but yelling and snapping like she did, that hurt more than it helped. I'm not saying this so you can go talk to her. Don't put her any more into this shit than she already is.
Here's the thing, though. I understand that it sucks getting yelled at. I get it. But for the past God knows how long, she's been listening to me. We've had arguments about this. About me trying to help, and I guess you just got tired of it, and that was it.
So take it out on me? Really? How is that fair?
Not saying it's fair. Trust me, I heard a little bit too.
I'm not saying that you don't. I'm not saying that none of us are going through our own traumas right now. I know we all are, separately, but also together. But I'm handling it differently than what you guys are expecting me to. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to handle it any differently. Half the day is spent with me internally panicking, with my heart racing in my chest and my inability to breathe. Half the day I don't even feel like myself. Half the day I don't even know who I am. And yet I'm still here trying so hard to be something for you guys, while I'm also battling Dad's voice screaming in my fucking mind. And I know you are too, Oliver. And I get that. But I am struggling so hard. And yet I'm being called selfish. Because I'm going through my trauma differently. And that hurts. Because then I think that she doesn't believe in me. After I let her in. Which doesn't come easy, as you know.
I know.
All I'm asking is that you're patient with me while I try to rework everything I've ever known. And I know it's probably not fair of me to ask you of that, but I'm trying. I really am. And if you need me, I'll be there for you, but you also have to deal with your own trauma as well instead of just staring at just focusing on me and mine. You have to do what I'm doing, and you have to fucking feel it and let it go through you and back away from your loved ones just a little bit so you can focus on yourself even slightly. Because if you don't feel this trauma and the reworking of your own brain and all of this, Oliver, you're gonna snap. And you know what happens when we snap.
I was talking to Luna earlier today. Because she was wondering why I wasn't taking any time for myself. And the reason that I haven't been taking time for myself is because I don't feel I need to. Me trying to help you in a way has helped me. Sort of taking my own advice.
But are you handling it?
I like to think I am. Yeah.
Good.
All it takes is the realization that you're not alone, and makes life easier.
I don't know what you're going through. I don't know everything that's happened to you and Dad in the past. I don't know much of anything. But I know you're probably going through it. It's probably why you wanted a vacation. But he's gonna get out very soon. And I am panicking over what he's gonna do to us. And when I said today that I wish you stayed on vacation, it wasn't because I didn't want you here. It's because I wanted you to be out of his grasp for even just a little bit till he found you. And I know you don't trust cops, but Theo and Watts and Wynn working on the case helped us so much. And we owe them a lot. Because they're one of the best that I've ever seen. And I've dealt with some shitty ass cops in Ohio when I was dying in a fire. So, my one rule is that you don't be a dickhead to them because they're actually doing something. They're actually trying. Which is more than we've ever gotten from employees of the state. I consider them my friends. And I know you don't believe in cops being friends, but I do. Because they saved my life a little while ago when I was dying of hypothermia and a gunshot wound. Without them, I wouldn't be standing here right now. And without Theo's talk, I wouldn't be standing here even a little bit more sane than I was beforehand. Dad's voice is still in my head. That's not gonna go away. But I have ways to kind of cope. Even just a little bit. And she kind of made me realize that I'm actually not alone as I thought. And I'm sorry for being such a shithead to all of you. But I'm trying. I'm trying to rewire everything about me that I've grown up knowing. And I'm trying to fight Dad's voice, telling me that I'm not good enough and no one's ever gonna love me. And some days are gonna be easier than others, like today. But not every day is gonna be like this. Not every day I'm gonna sanely stand in front of you and tell you that I'm having a hard time. I may be closed off sometimes. I may be struggling sometimes. But I'm trying. And having people snap at me and yell at me and telling me that I'm selfish for working through my trauma the way I am, I can't have that. I need people to be patient with me because my brain is dark and twisty. And it's always going to be like this. Maybe not as loud. But I'm going through a lot, and I know you are too. Both of you. And you may not be as open as I am being right now about it. But I just wanted you both to know that both of you are one of the people that I go to. Even if I have a problem with going to males about things like this and looking for them for comfort, because I don't ever think they're ever going to comfort me. I'm working through that really slowly. But I'm trying. And I just wanted you both to know that I'm really trying here. And some days are going to be easier than others.
Well, listen. I talked to Boona myself.
No.
It's too late. I already did. She means well. I know you know that.
I know. Like I said, though, when I get yelled at or snapped at, it has the opposite effect it should.
Yeah, and she understands that too. At least I think so. With that said, I don't think anybody necessarily is worried about you being closed off as they are being destructive or self-destructive. You have your whole goddamn life ahead of you, and you don't need to do anything that's gonna put that at risk. Just like I told Oliver, at the end of the day, if you do that and you were to get hurt, go to jail, you did anything that took away your freedom or your ability to live life, Eric wins. He achieves exactly what he wants to achieve. So, if you need to go take a walk, clear your head, do it. But if you want to jump off a goddamn building, then that's when you need to talk to someone. If you want to go play in goddamn traffic, that's when you need to talk to someone. It's not worth it. And yeah, everybody's gonna work through their shit in different ways. That's how it works. Cut from the same cloth or not, doesn't matter. But it doesn't mean that you can't rely on someone. You all taught me that. There's things of my childhood with my father, with Eric. I don't know if you all will ever need to know. If you ever should know. But I'll tell you, it's things that change the way you live life. And I don't want that for y'all. I don't want you to have to experience the things I've experienced. And when I tell you that I know things, I want you to trust that I know them and I know the consequences, and I don't think you all should go and experience those consequences. Because they're gonna haunt you for the rest of your life more than your father ever will. He's merely a pawn in that regard. know that that's coming from somebody who's the most clear-headed they've been since, hell, I was 17. I guess I'm just saying, don't be rash. Try and be rational.
Yeah.
And to me, the rational thing is use a support group. If you have it, use it. It's more than I ever had, or at least more than I thought I ever had. I mean, how do you think it makes me feel? Leaning on no offense, but a bunch of goddamn kids. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But time and time again, you all have amazed me. And you've made it easier. Each and every time.
Ducky.
Baby steps. I mean, Rainy, I don't know. I barely remember the goddamn day. I can only imagine what it felt like to shoot someone, let alone your own goddamn father, regardless of how much of a piece of shit he is. However,
Hi, Kira. Hi, Sickle.
I can only imagine how stressful, especially now, it is with trying to become your own person after being programmed your whole goddamn life as a goddamn insurance plan, essentially. But you're doing it.
I
You're
love
getting through
tea.
it. And one day it'll be better. And until then, we got each other to help make it better with baby steps. You gotta be confident enough to use a support group.
Oliver.
Yeah.
You haven't said a word in a very long time.
Just listening.
Do you have anything you want to say, though? Joel, hello. Oh, hi.
I think I've said what I already needed to say.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Oh, I'll say one more thing. It's not something I'm used to. Not something I've said or heard much my entire life. And that is, probably something you all haven't heard a whole lot other than Oliver over there. That's I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Zell. Trying to get some help. I'm proud of you, Rainey. For just making it. Surviving, beating the odds. Lord knows I wasn't any goddamn help. And Oliver, I'm proud of you for a different goddamn reason. I'm proud of you for standing up and doing what you want to do, as opposed to what somebody's telling you to do, or guilting you into doing.
Oh, tease the dad they never had.
I might have gave you a lot of goddamn shit about the doctor shit.
Hello, Coyote.
The other day, I was proud of you for what you accomplished. Whether you wanted to do it or not. And I'm even more proud that you decided to do what you wanted to do. Against, no. Against your own goddamn father's wishes. Because we all know it had nothing to do with his pride in you, as it did his own self-serving goddamn needs. Need you all to understand he's a parasite. He's nothing without us. These flashes of anger come when he feels like he's losing control. It's the same thing my father did. If I talked about going to school, it was to get locked in a goddamn shed for a couple weeks. I had to deal with truant officers coming, figuring out why the hell I wasn't coming to school. I didn't come home from school in time. It was a goddamn chain on my back. To the point I could barely walk. And your father got it too. To a lesser degree. And it was the same thing. We were just goddamn workhorses. So know you that you all are the powerful ones here. Not Eric. He's vermin. He's a rat. He's lower than that. And as long as we have each other, it's one less thing he has.
Oh my god, I thought he was yeeting himself off the thing. Oh my god, I just panicked. I think it's time to go home.